Trump, and I think in many ways, is the anti-Reagan in a very, very important way. And that is Reagan, like, you had this growing conservative movement, right? The Goldwater years, and it's called the best parts of the Buckley National Review stuff, with the understanding that there's a lot of bad within that, but you had the best aspects of this American conservative movement, right? And it all captures with the election of Ronald Reagan. They finally did it. They've been spending decades trying to do this. They finally accomplish it. Ronald Reagan, one of their own, is elected president. And then what does he do? He makes H.W. Bush, who was criticizing him for voodoo economics and represented everything in the Republican Party, and the conservatives had been fighting, for those decades. He brings him on as VP. And then afterwards, and then the Republican Party around him ends up being the party of H.W. Bush, not the party of Ronald Reagan. And so then that created a situation where you had a H.W. Bush-style Republican Party using the rhetoric of Reagan, duping conservatives who were much closer aligned with us, and they were able to take advantage of these conservatives. And it's because Reagan told the conservative group that we can trust our enemies. Donald Trump, who I think ideologically is far less conservative to Reagan, right? In terms of the way that he could articulate whatever his political philosophy might be. What he did, though, is he convinced conservatives that the people that hate them really hate them. And it might be out of vanity, he doesn't like these people because they don't like Trump, and therefore Trumpers shouldn't like them because they don't like Trump. Like, I'm fine, whatever. It doesn't matter the intensity of that intellectual argument there. Ultimately, the impact is the same. And that is why Liz Cheney's getting kicked out of the House in Wyoming. This is why nobody wants the endorsement of George W. Bush, right? There's not a single living president in the Republican Party besides George Bush, or besides Donald Trump, whose opinion has meant anything in a primary for the last, ever since 2016. And I think that aspect, again, long-reaching, if that continues, is something that could create some interesting dynamics down the line, and hopefully, will open the door for more, Ron Paul-styled, Republicans to have an impact on policy, and perhaps taking advantage of this inflationary populist moment that we're living in.